3, 2, 1.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you once again for tuning in to LifeStruction with Eric. Hopefully everyone had a great, awesome week. He was able to build on some things. We have an exciting guest with us today. Be sure to share the broadcast. Share from your personal page with all of your friends. Get them connected so they can watch this awesome discussion today. It'll definitely be life-changing. It'll definitely move some of you guys to hear our guest story today. Today we have Miss Nyobie Ricks, and we met a few years ago. My daughter and her daughter, they're like the best of friends, can't move without one another, and very inseparable. So based off of their friendship, my wife became very good friends with her and her husband Kevin, and we kind of hung out with them quite a while, and we connected on Facebook, and that was when I found out that she suffered from lupus, and you would never know it being around her, just the strength that she have, always a smile on her face, always uplifting. If someone's doing something, any parent in the school is doing something, she's there to help, so then my family and I, we got the opportunity to do the lupus walk year before last, because it was canceled last year, I believe, but year before last, and to see her on that stage with her cape on, she's an ambassador, she's a superhero, and she's, just fighting to bring awareness to lupus. And I mean, it was just amazing just to see her character, and in the past few years that we've known her, to just see her strength. You never know that she's going through something, because she just wears that smile and she fights. But I'm not going to go on and on. I'm going to just turn Nyobie over to you guys and let her just share her story, basically let you know what exactly lupus is, and give you guys a little bit of her story. So turn over to you. It's all yours.
Well, thank you. Thank you for such a lovely introduction. I'm glad to be here today to talk about lupus and give a little bit of insight as to what it is and how it affects people, and share a little bit of my story. So thank you so much for having me here. Before I get into my story, I just want to quickly explain what lupus is, in case there are some people who are unaware. Lupus is a chronic disease that can cause inflammation and pain in any part of the body. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, and that means that your autoimmune system, which normally fights infections, actually attacks healthy tissue instead. Currently, there is no cure for lupus, and for the record, lupus is not contagious. You can't catch it from anyone. So there's that. As far as my journey with lupus, I was diagnosed in December of 2010, and that came about quite interestingly. I'll start with a little bit of background. So I started developing symptoms when I was around 12 or 13 years old. And initially I was diagnosed with anemia, but my symptoms gradually started to get worse. I had irregular periods. I had a lot of pain and swelling. I had partial paralysis and numbness in my extremities. And I told my mom about it. And additionally, initially she didn't believe me. She thought that I just didn't want to go to school. But I don't think she understood the level of pain that I was going through. And the doctors just didn't seem to think that there was more wrong with me than what I was telling them. I spent a lot of time and a lot of pain and discomfort. When I would go numb from the waist down, it would last for hours. I couldn't move, I couldn't sit up, I couldn't walk, I couldn't stand. And I used to have my niece, who was 8 years old at the time, sit on me until I got feeling back in my extremities.
Mm.
And I went to the doctor. I explained to her what was going on. And again, it was like crickets. No one was listening. No one was paying attention. No one took my symptoms seriously. I knew that there was something wrong with me. I just didn't know what it was. And I didn't know where to go or who to turn to. As a minor, you're at the mercy of your parents and your doctors. And so I really didn't have anyone to advocate for me. And so when I was feeling bad, I would just lay in the bed. I couldn't get up. I couldn't move. I would cry and cry for hours because I was in so much pain and I didn't know what to do. I would lay in the bed until I felt better. I would take Tylenol or Advil or, whatever, prescription, would help me at the time. But it just never got better. One night I had one of my partial paralysis episodes, and I begged my mother to take me to the emergency room. I begged her to call 911 because I didn't know what else to do. So we get to the emergency room, and I'm telling the nurse what my symptoms are, and she's asking me a lot of psychological questions. I didn't understand it then, but I, understood later that she didn't believe me either. And they were going through, the testing of your extremities where they poke you with a needle. And she poked me in my foot until my toes started to bleed because she thought that I was faking.
Oh, wow.
I stayed in the hospital for 2 days, but they never ran any tests on me. Not a single blood test, nothing. Not an x-ray, nothing. So at that point, I just decided that I would just keep my symptoms to myself until I got into a position where, I could get somebody to understand what I was going through and believe me. High school was very difficult because I was in a lot of pain. I suffered from rashes, and so I stayed covered up a lot. I couldn't, I couldn't play gym or anything like that. So if fast forward, around 2009, my rashes returned, and I went to the doctor again. And I was told that I had ringworm. And I said, okay, give me the medicine. I'll take the medicine. I'll do what I always do. I'll take care of myself. So I went and got a yearly checkup, and my doctor called me in because my test results were abnormal, according to her, and she wanted to repeat the test. So we did so. And the results came back and they weren't any different. So at that point, she recommended that I see a specialist. So I went to see a specialist, a hematologist, because there were issues with my blood, my red blood cells, my white blood cells, without getting too technical. And so we did some testing, and I'm sitting in his office waiting to get the test results. And he informs me that I have lupus. Now, this was the first time I had ever heard about lupus in regards to my condition.
And this was how long in was this?
19 years. 19
years.
19
so for 19 years, you were being misdiagnosed as well as being mistreated because they was giving you medication for something that you didn't even have.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. So, like I said, 19 years and 8 different doctors and specialists, and I finally got an answer as to what was wrong with me. Now, I was already familiar with lupus. My family and I were donors to the Lupus Foundation. So I had an idea of what lupus was, but I didn't know all that entailed having to live with the disease. So I did a bit of education to learn exactly what it is and how it would affect me. I went to a rheumatologist who treats lupus, and I got a confirmation of my diagnosis because it's always important to get a second opinion. And after getting the confirmation, I had to go through numerous testing, MRIs, CAT scans, tissue biopsies, bone marrow biopsies. I had to go through a lot of things. When those results came back, my lupus was advanced. I had a severe case, and I wasn't sure what that meant for me because I had gone untreated for so long. So I didn't know what my next step was going to be. I had 2 young children that I was raising. They were 3 and 8 at the time. I was working a full-time job, and I was just unsure of what my life was going to be like going forward. It turns out that the lupus was not only affecting my joints and my muscles, but it was also affecting my brain and my kidneys. And so we had to determine how we were going to treat me. And I went through a variety of treatments. I was prescribed high dosages of steroids, as well as pain medication to help me with my pain, because the pain was worse than labor. So that's kind of where it all started for me.
Okay. So once you got to that point where they finally was able to confirm what your diagnosis, what your symptoms had been for the past 19 years, what happened after that? Did they start the right treatment for you?
Well, here's the thing about lupus. Everyone who has lupus, it affects them differently. So what it was trial and error. We had to start with the basics and then see if that worked. If that didn't work, then we would start with something else and see if that worked. If that didn't work, we would start with something else. The priority was addressing my brain and my kidneys, because I was losing function of my kidneys, and the effect it had on my brain caused cognitive issues. So I couldn't make decisions for myself. I couldn't drive. I couldn't work. I was in a lot of pain, and I was basically, I was practically unable to take care of myself or my kids.
Wow.
If someone went to hug me, it hurt. So we needed to address those issues first. And we decided that we would take an extreme approach to it, because my brain was swollen. And so with my doctor, we decided to do chemotherapy and steroid treatment. And so I did that for 6 months, and that helped to reduce my symptoms. And once we were able to get 100% function back into my kidneys and the inflammation down from my brain, then we decided how best to approach treating the rest of me. And again, like I said, it was trial and error, but we were finally able to find something. It didn't alleviate my symptoms. It didn't stop me from flaring, but it did provide relief.
Okay. So fast forward from there to whenever the point was when you started to experience relief. And I mean, because what you just explained, what I just heard come out of your mouth, I totally believe you, but I would literally have to be there knowing you for the past, 2 or 3 years, and for you to tell me that, about you needed help, you couldn't function without someone helping you, it's like amazing. You've had amazing turnaround. because just, I mean, you're very, very smart. So I would never in a million years think that you had any type of issues with your brain ever in life, because I mean, you are very, very intelligent. You know, your kids are, you know, your husband, he's okay. But I mean, just to hear that story, it just, so I know it had to be a turn of events somewhere where things started to improve for you. So when was that moment?
Well, here's the thing. You're never not going to experience some type of lupus symptom unless it
Right,
goes into
right.
remission.
Uh-huh.
I can't specifically pinpoint when things got better, but after doing the chemotherapy, that's when I started to feel better, because I started to feel more in control. I was better educated about the disease, and I could make smart decisions about my treatment and my new normal going forward. So that would have been about 4 years after my initial diagnosis.
Okay. Okay. We have someone on, Beverly. She says she can relate to your story. Her oldest sister also was misdiagnosed uh, all through her childhood and early adulthood. She was being diagnosed with arthritis, and she says she remember her getting in extreme hot water just to get some type of relief from the pain. She also went through the severe rashes as well.
Yeah. I'm It's very difficult to live with this disease. It's extremely difficult to be diagnosed with this disease. And to be misdiagnosed only makes it that much, more worse.
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. How does this happen? You know, that for all those years, and then when I see Beverly post it, it's not like you had a bad doctor. Looks like it's just something that's hard to detect, because she pretty much has the same thing. So I mean, I guess it's like, is it something that kind of goes under the radar? And it's because I heard you say everyone has like different symptoms. So I guess it's kind of hard for them to rectify exactly what it is.
In my experience, here's what I find, and speaking with other people who have been diagnosed with lupus, there isn't much education as far as the medical field is concerned when it comes to lupus as an autoimmune disease. They talk about other diseases, but they don't specifically cover lupus and all of the things that go or are involved with being able to diagnose it properly. And so you can experience symptoms for a good while. It takes between 4 and 6 years to get a proper diagnosis of lupus.
Wow. Wow. We had another question. Pamela wants to know, are there certain foods that you could eat that could kind of trigger it?
Yes, there are, but again, it varies. Some people have a high tolerance for food. Some people, don't. I would say cut back on sugar. That's definitely, a big trigger. But again, since it's an immune disease, it's based on your body makeup. And while there may be a category of foods that you should avoid because they can trigger it,
right?
Some people with lupus can eat certain foods and it doesn't bother them, and some people can't.
Okay. Have they ever said to you why it takes so long to kind of rectify that, and be able to diagnose what it is that you really have?
Here's what physicians say. since lupus mimics a lot of other autoimmune diseases, they tend to
Uh-huh.
go to those diseases first.
Okay.
And so, again, you have pain, you have inflammation, you have swelling, that could be high blood pressure, it could be diabetes, it could be a number of different types of autoimmune diseases. So they always tend to cover the most popular ones first before they get to lupus.
Gotcha. Okay. I believe this is someone that's related to you. Please forgive me if I butcher your name. Is it Quidana? Qdana?
Quadana.
Quidana.
Quadana. Her name
I
is
told you.
Quadana.
I
That's my
told you I was
niece.
going to
Hi,
butcher it.
sweetie.
She said she remembered massaging your legs when she was little to help you try to feel better back then, and had no idea, what you were going through.
Yeah, we tried a number of things. We would burn a needle and then stick me to see if it would work. She
Uh-huh.
would walk up and down my back like George Jefferson did,
Yes.
on the Jeffersons. So we tried a number of things, and I would literally lay on that floor for hours just crying because I didn't know what to do.
Wow.
Yeah, we just didn't know.
Okay. Well, I as I stated, I was able to experience a walk with you a few years back, and I was able to get the experience of seeing you on the stage, with your cape on, superhero. Tell us a little bit about that. So, what is it that you're doing in the Lupus Foundation to help bring awareness?
Okay, so I am a advocate and an ambassador for lupus awareness. And basically what we do is we go out to health fairs, we do education symposiums, and we do everything that we can, from lobbying Congress to getting local proclamations to help celebrate Lupus Awareness Month, which is next month.
Okay.
Anything that falls under the umbrella of education and awareness is what we do. So me personally, for the Walk to End Lupus Now, which a variety of states across the country does every year, this year and last year it happened to be virtual because of COVID. What we do is we do our best to bring awareness to how many people are, affected by lupus, whether you're a person with lupus or a caregiver to someone with lupus. Because here's the thing about lupus, it doesn't discriminate. Anyone can get lupus.
Mm-hmm.
Men, women, teenagers, kids, it doesn't matter. No one is immune to lupus. As a matter of fact, 90% of lupus patients are women.
Mm.
Most of them are people of color, African American, Latino, Pacific Islander, Native American. No one knows why the ethnic disparities are. Nobody knows why. It could be a number of, it could be the climate you live in. It could be genetics or hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a number of things, but nobody knows why more women of color not only are affected by lupus, but die from lupus. So yeah, so my goal as an ambassador and an advocate is to lobby for better understanding and education of what lupus is as a disease, the challenges that we face as patients and caregivers.
Yes.
And to bring about more effective and faster testing for accurate diagnosis so that people can get the treatment that they need before it's too late. And I serve on the Walk committee here in Arizona. So that's why you saw me on the stage in my cape. As part of the committee, we plan the walk and we get the word out and we do what we can to advance the cause.
Okay. And that walk is held when?
This year will be held on Saturday, October 16th. Again, it's going to be a virtual walk since COVID is still an issue. So what that means is you can get some friends and family together and walk around your neighborhood and, post photos online showing that, you're spreading lupus awareness.
Okay. Well, I did it and it was fun. So, that's a great time for me to get the family out and we'll, do a little longer walk than usual than we normally do. So we'll definitely join in and help you guys. And where can we register at?
Okay, so if you want to find a walk in your state, you need to go to lupus.org/get involved. And from there, you would select the Walk to End Lupus Now, and you could get the information from there.
Sounds good. All righty. Well, I will put that information up. So if someone wants to get involved, they can definitely join. And what else is it that you guys, as you've been an advocate, I know you said as far as the walk and stuff, but do you do any type of fundraisers or anything like that?
Yes. So in addition to walking the walk with lupus, I also do fundraising for the Lupus Foundation of America, which is the national organization that helps bring lupus awareness and education to the masses.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely do fundraise. I love to raise money to help with the advancement of research and educational programs for the lupus community.
Okay. And that information can be found on that website as well, the lupus.org?
Yes. If you want to donate directly to the Lupus Foundation of America, then yes, you can go to lupus.org/donate. If you want to donate to the Walk to End Lupus Now, then I believe I sent the link to you. So you can donate there. That will help aid in finding a search for a cure for lupus.
Okay. It's just, it's you never know what someone is going through, but once again, we got the week, we hear different stories, about different things that people suffer from in life, but at the end of the day, seem like every week it's the same story that plays out at the end. It was something that kind of tore you down early in life. You learn how to deal with it and build from it, and at the same time that you're building from it, in all that you're going through, you still have the courage and the strength to step out a little bit further and help someone else. So, it just takes the focus off of all of your pain that you're going through. It's just, you find that to just push through and be able to help somebody else, even though you're in the midst, because basically hearing what you said, on any given day, at any given time, maybe more than once in a day, you can experience some type of symptoms, but still you have that strength to push through in life. So I definitely commend you, be, the strong woman that you are, to take that extra step and, take that role as being an advocate to bring awareness, because it's so many times that people suffer from a sickness and their mindset is just so unstructured. They don't have any structure in their mindset, so they don't know how to live with what they have, but at the end of the day, make the best out of it. And just like any other thing that we say, sometimes you have to do it second by second, minute by minute. But if you continue, you done put a whole hour together, then you done put a whole half a day together, then you put a whole day together, and then you do your self-inventory at night and you wake up the next day with the same mindset. Now I'm going to, if I can do the same thing I did yesterday, I can just make it through, and you just start putting those days together, and that's how you gain your strength.
Right. So here's the thing. I was diagnosed in 2010, and so that it took 19 years for me to get my diagnosis. So since my confirmation, I've been living with this disease for almost 11 years.
Okay.
And my commitment is to bring as much awareness to this disease as possible, because I don't ever want anyone to go through what I went through.
Gotcha. Definitely.
So if I can be an example for how to advocate for yourself now, then that's what's important to me. So
yeah.
when I was diagnosed, it was said that there were 5 million people worldwide and 1.5 million people in America diagnosed with lupus. Now, obviously, those would more than likely be confirmed cases. But since we know that it can take anywhere from 4 years to 6 years to get a diagnosis, we know that number is much higher than what's being reported. And if we don't start educating people to notice the symptoms, and educating doctors on how to be aware of those symptoms and to test and treat for those symptoms,
right,
then we're doing a disservice to people. And so for me, that's what motivates me to continue my advocacy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as I stated, I definitely, appreciate you and totally support you for your strength to step out and want to be a mouthpiece towards that. We have Samantha Walker. She says, are there specific things that can be done to minimize the flare-ups, or do you not have no control over that? And I think you may have answered that sort of, kind of.
Okay. So thank you, Samantha, for the question. There are things that you can do to decrease your chances of having a flare. Obviously, diet and exercise play a major part of that. So those are key. Knowing your body and being able to recognize if a flare is coming on is another thing that you can do. For some people, it takes a while. For some people, it doesn't. But being aware of how lupus affects your body is going to be your biggest weapon in being able to manage when you flare. Of course, getting plenty of rest and, reducing stress is another thing.
Okay. And then let's see. Christina Miller said, misdiagnosed MS due to unexplained paralysis. I always get mixed up on that word. Paralysis and numbness. Lupus and MS are called great imitators. Lupus is known as a medicine, cruel mystery. More resources at lupus.org. She has to be an advocate or something, because that sounds.
She is definitely an advocate.
The way that she typed that in, it's just like, yeah, that was perfectly typed up.
She's definitely an advocate.
Nice. Keep fighting, Christina. Keep fighting. Within the lupus community, do you have support groups where there's assistance available during the difficult times?
Yes. Support groups are a mainstay in the lupus community simply because the disease is so misunderstood, and more often than not, the only people who can understand what you are going through are those who are going through something similar to you. So these support groups they're wonderful. They give a wealth of education and resource, not only to like lupus caregivers or people with lupus, but to friends and family as well. Because it's so important to have the people who support you be educated in this disease.
Gotcha. Gotcha. We have Tony Grimes said advocacy, 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 advocacy. Knowledge is power. And Miss Pamela Williams, she said, do you still have to do chemo or steroids?
I still take steroids. At any time I taper off of a steroid, my activity increases. And so, yes, I'm no longer taking chemo, but I do use prednisone, which is a corticosteroid, in addition to the maintenance of my regular lupus medications. So yes, I do still take steroids. Okay. It's low dosage now, but I do still take it.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Anyone else have any more questions? While I'm waiting to see if there's any more questions. So we talked about the walk. We talked about fundraisers and how we can donate. But is there like let's just say if we wanted to donate on someone's behalf, like, is there a way we can do that, or you just donate and you can't put a name with it?
No, when you donate, you can put a name. You can donate in memory of someone. You can donate anonymously. You can donate as yourself.
Okay. All right. And you said you sent me that link and I cannot find it. Did you email it to me?
Yes, I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
So if you want to donate to the Walk to End Lupus Now, I do have a fundraiser page going.
Okay.
And you would simply go to support.lupus.org/go/warrior butterfly.
I can't type that fast. Support.lupus.org/.
Yes, go
I
to.
do listen though. You see that? I listen.
/go/to/warrior butterfly.
And go to, that's typed out, right? Not the not just okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
GOTO.
Got it. All right. Well, there's a link there.
Okay, no, it's GOTO.
I knew that.
I am also
Once y'all go to that link, y'all not gonna find anything. Hold on.
I am also doing a fundraiser where you can get some really nice gifts, accessories, home decor, drinkware, stationery, or wall art. And all of those proceeds are going to the Walk to End Lupus Now. And all money made from this particular fundraiser is going to be matched. So
oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that and the possibility of raising lots of money for the LFA.
Now, is that on the same link?
It is not on the same link. It is a separate link. You can get some really nice artwork.
See, I
You
want to
can
do
get
that one.
you can get some drinkware, like
Can
I
I just
said,
buy that one from you?
calendar. It's a ton of things. So what you would do is you would go to black-gifts.com and you would look under the Find My Affiliate tab and put in my affiliate number, which is 644475. And just check out all of the lovely products that they have there. And you can, like I said, you can find some really great anniversary gifts, birthday gifts, Mother's Day gifts, just because gifts, or gifts for yourself. We have a bunch of things. We have journals, we have calendars, we have puzzles, we have bath mats and shower curtains. So anything you can basically think of is on the website.
Okay.
And again, all proceeds are going to be matched.
Okay. Well, I just put that link in the comments along with her number. Actually, I think I missed a 4. It was 644475.
Correct.
Okay, so I missed a 4. 644475 is her number that you will put in. So yeah, well, you know, the LifeStruction family will definitely be helping. I'm definitely going to go to the Black Gifts link as well as the other one, and we'll definitely be doing something worthy to help cause. And someone else has a question. Where was it at? There it is. Is there an all-natural method that can be used for treatment?
I don't want to say yes, and I don't want to say no. I do believe that there are holistic things that you can do to reduce your inflammation, which will, in itself help reduce your lupus symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
What I would suggest is that before taking anything outside of what your doctor has given you, is that you discuss with your doctor what treatments are going to be best for you, because every treatment is tailored to the individual. And so you want to discuss with your doctor what kinds of treatments are going to be best for you.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, we thank you for your awesome story. I told you guys it was going to be heartwarming, heartfelt, and at the same time, you can't do nothing but admire a woman, of her courage and strength that basically went through what she went through and still going through it, but she still has the strength to want to push out and help others. So we definitely, thank you for being on to share your story. And funny thing that I didn't mention, he's not on camera, but, I have people from Arizona on, but I have people from Virginia that's on as well. And to my people in Virginia, when I met this family and her husband and I started to talk, it was crazy when we started talking. And he was like, well, my grandfather used to live in a place in Virginia called Cortland, and he lived down 616. And I was like, get out of here. Small world. So yeah, come to find out, he used to come down during the summertime and stay down for the summer. I see Boris Belly is on. His first cousin, Boris, is Gene Harris. You remember Gene Harris? That's his first cousin, Boris. But it's just amazing, you go all the way to Arizona and you meet someone that's basically know exactly where you're from. So, it's almost like you guys are, well, no, I'm not going to say almost like you guys are family. You guys are family. So I just totally appreciate you guys. Once again, for any of you guys, if this is your first time tuning in, I thank you so much for tuning in. We do this every Sunday. Every Sunday we do it. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard, and if you're in between, do the math. One of those times. But yeah, we do it every week. If you want to connect with me during the week, you can do so on one of these platforms here. My Instagram is _ Eric Winfield. Then we have our Facebook page, LifeStruction with Eric, as well as YouTube, LifeStruction with Eric. So we broadcast on all 3 platforms on Sundays. So definitely connect with me on Instagram and Facebook during the week. We try to do some encouraging posts and try to keep you guys updated with who will be speaking the upcoming week. And hey, if you have, something to deal with rebuilding your life that you would love to share, feel free to inbox me. I would love to bring you on and hear your story. So yeah, if you have something that you would love to come on and share, we have a great audience, very, very positive. So we would love to have you on. If not you and you know someone, definitely refer them to me. I would be glad to have them on. Other than that, let me go back to the comments to see if anybody else asked anything. Oh, Ryan said, love you, Mom.
Love you too. So real quickly, before we go, I want to encourage everyone to go to lupus.org and get information about lupus and how you may be able to help someone if you know someone with lupus. Also, if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram at AZ Butterfly Warriors, as well as Facebook at AZ Butterfly Warriors.
Great. So yeah, remember, just go to Facebook or Instagram and look for at Butterfly Warriors. At Butterfly Warriors.
AZ Butterfly Warriors.
That's what I said. AZ Butterfly Warriors. She has this cute little butterfly logo. I think it's what, purple and yellow?
Yes.
Yeah. So you see that, and definitely you'll see her. But yeah, definitely connect with her, keep up with her, and be sure to go in and donate and help her bring awareness to lupus. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. I love you guys for tuning in, connecting with me. I hope everybody enjoyed it. You guys have an awesome week. Remember to do something to bless somebody else. Pay it forward this week. Remember to start each day by fueling it with faith to power up your heart with a smile. Power up your heart with a smile. It's a mandatory tool for your LifeStruction. Have a blessed week.
Good night, guys.